Hello all, and welcome to tonight's beer review, which I am dubbing the Rough Week beer review because it's been a kind of rough week. Started the week off by, in the last couple of reviews, you kind of noticed I had a chicken with me. That particular chicken is no longer with me, and no longer in this general realm of existence due to the neighbor's cat. And my own negligence somewhat for not clipping his wings. And, yeah, I ended up adopting another one because there are umpty million baby chickens in my workplace, and most of them don't make it to adulthood. Feral life is a fairly rough one. And I ended up this week getting written up for something that was, while I did make a mistake, is kind of like bullshit. My new job isn't exactly an entire bed of roses, in that I haven't had to deal with this much bullshit in a long time, but at least I kind of realized it's bullshit, and I can't get worked up about it because I realize it's bullshit straight off the bat, you know what I mean? Then again, I do kind of fuck up. It's just kind of bullshit, the response to it. Anyways, what are we reviewing tonight? Well, like I said in my previous reviews, we're going to be focusing a lot more on local beers. So what we have here is Maui Brewing's Pilialoha Belgian Red Ale. Now, what is a Belgian Red Ale? You never really hear about this style, and it's kind of not really a style. There's Flanders Red Ale, which is, of course, a Low Countries red ale that is made with cherries and lactobacilli, so it's obviously a flavored sour. This is brewed with Kona Red Hawaiian coffee fruit. So basically, the fruit that surrounds the coffee bean, which is actually a berry, so coffee is a berry. So the berry fruit that surrounds the bean of the coffee has usually been discarded, but this company uses it to make a high antioxidant drink. I've never tasted it, and apparently many other people haven't tasted it because they sell far, far more cold brew coffee than this red fruit. Maybe I should go and try it someday. I don't know. So this particular beer, I guess it's kind of trying to evoke that Belgian red ale, in that it is using a red fruit, but it doesn't use lactobacilli. It's probably a lot closer to Belgian dark ale, which usually doesn't have a fruit additive to it. So, this is 5.6 ABV, so, a decent strength. Nothing too high, nothing too low. It's not really, going to hammer you, but it's also not really sessionable either. Low IBU, 15 IBU. I went and looked that up. So let's go and give this a pour, shall we? And it's afternoon right now. I have the curtain closed just because it is damn bright. I don't know why it's so damn bright. I mean, it's 4:30. It's just like this camera can't handle high color gradients or high light gradients or something. I am going to open the curtain a little bit so I can get a better sense of the color. It's easier than trying to hold it up to rather dim light here. So, coloration is a dark amber. Only sort of red highlights to it, as you can see here. At the bottom, it's more yellow than red. I'd say far more amberish than red. With a light beige top, fluffy, and rather permanent too. Not much visible carbonation. And one of the few reviews for this stated that the nose kind of smelled like Tootsie Roll, and that pretty much hits it on the head. It has a very strong sort of Tootsie Roll smell to it. Sweet, slightly roasted malts. Very sweet though. Very malt forward in the nose. Just a hint of some floral hops. But overall, grain, sweetness, kind of coming together to make this kind of Tootsie Roll sort of smell. Not overwhelming, just sort of evocative of a Tootsie Roll. Should have let this warm up a little bit more. Seems a little bit closed on the palate right now. I'm going to hold it like this so it can warm up a bit quicker. Interestingly, how, how it develops on the palate is actually kind of interesting. I'm trying to quantify it right, qualify it right now. So in the front, you kind of get hints of brown bread, with maybe light hints of caramelized sugar. Then after that, there's this brief sudden shock of sugary sweetness on the palate before this combination of roasted malts and old world hop bitterness kind of takes over in the mids and into the mid to finish. And then kind of leaving a almost caramelized, lightly sweet ending, long finish. Not a very bitter hop finish there. Not overly sweet, and it still has roast notes there, especially in the effervescent part, not so much lying on the tongue. These flavors are not overly evocative. Like I said, sort of caramelized notes, brown bread notes. Other than a very slight sort of, I'm talking very slight, almost a very slight sort of preserves and just the barest wisp of tartness in the mid palate. You know, you don't really sense like the Kona Red berry in here. It's just sort of there a little bit in the middle, sandwiched in between, you know, residual sugar, the dark malts, and the hopping. There's a very nice interplay there, but it's just, you know, not. You know, it's just not wowing me very much. Maybe I'm jaded with beer. Maybe I'm holding Maui Brewing to a very high standard. You know, there's not really a style to compare it to. It's kind of a thing in and of itself, yet by the same time it is not pushing a limit in either direction to make it sort of a stunt beer. So it's kind of, well, it's a good beer, but what is it? Where does this fall? I'm not really sure. You can definitely say that it's Belgian because of that sort of residual sweetness to it. And fairly reserved hopping. But other than that, you know, it doesn't really have... When I think of Belgian beers, I think of intense flavors. This is not very intense. And there's a Belgian complexity, and also what many good Belgians can have, intensity and subtlety. There's just not much oomph there. Again, by no means a bad beer. It's drinkable. It's just, I kind of wish that they, and I'm not going to hold against them because, it's very difficult to go and mass produce a sour, even for a limited edition like this. I kind of wish that they really did go and push it all the way and try for the Flanders Red, using the coffee berry. The slight tartness and fruitiness is, as it warms up, sort of expanding in the mid there, but still kind of playing third fiddle to everything else. All in all, it's worth a try. But at the same time, don't expect your mind to be blown by this, unless you're very new to beer. If, I was still exploring beers rather than being the jaded person that I am, this would be something that would be, a really nice new experience. But now, jaded that I am, it's kind of like, okay, maybe that's more of a critique on me than the beer. Who knows? So, Pilialoha Belgian Red Ale. Give it a shot. This one was, by the way, brewed at the end of September, so it's still pretty fresh, still on the shelves. Give it a shot while you can. And that's your beer review for tonight, folks. Cheers.